Hello friends, myself Ashok Bagda from Dr. Subhash Technical Campus, and today we are going to discuss about damp-free vibration with a viscous damping. Damp-free vibration with viscous damping. So my dear friends, here free vibration. We know that when if we consider a simple pendulum, we displace simple pendulum from its initial position, then the pendulum will continuously oscillate from its mean position. In this case, we have applied a force at a one time to disturb a pendulum from its initial position. Okay, so this vibration is known as a free vibration. But after some period of time, the oscillation or amplitude of vibration of a simple pendulum will decrease, and after some period of time the pendulum comes in equilibrium condition because of air is present. So air resistance is there in a simple pendulum, and also a pivoted friction. So in this case, in a simple pendulum case, there is a air resistance, so air is act as a damper, and in a pendulum we do not apply a continuous force on the pendulum. So it is known as a free vibration, and there is a presence of air and friction, and so we can say that the simple pendulum with air and pivot resistance is known as it is example of damp free vibration. But here we are going to discuss about damp free vibration with viscous damping. Okay, so we use some viscous fluid to resist the motion of vibrating body. So if we use a fluid to resist the motion of vibrating body, then we can say that we have used a viscous fluid as a damper. So let us start. So let us consider a spring mass system with a damper as shown in figure. So here our mass is at its mean position. So when we disturb this mass, then mass will displace from its equilibrium position to x as shown in figure. So here K is the stiffness of spring and C is a damper of C is a constant for a damper, or we can say that is a damping coefficient. Okay, so our mass will move in this direction, so having some displacement is x, so velocity is x dot and acceleration is x double dot. Now if we consider free body diagram of this system, then this is a mass. We know that spring force is always acting in upward direction, so kx is a spring force. Damping force, it is also acting in upward direction, so k into x dot c into x dot is a damping force, and acceleration, inertia force is always acting in opposite direction to the motion of body. So body is moving in downward direction, so in upward direction inertia force mx double dot, mass into acceleration, so mx double dot is acting in upward direction. Now let us consider m is the mass of the body, c is a damping coefficient in Newton into second per meter, x is equal to displacement of body from equilibrium position, x dot is the velocity of body in meter per second, x double dot is equal to acceleration of body in meter per second square, and capital K is the stiffness of spring in Newton per meter. The force is acting on body. If we see the figure in a free body diagram, there are three forces acting on the body. First one is the inertia force in upward direction, mass into acceleration. Second is the damping force, it is also acting in upward direction, damping coefficient into velocity, so cx dot. And spring force, it is act in upward direction, kx. So according to the D'Alembert principle, we can say that any body is in equilibrium if the summation of all forces acting on the system should be 0. Then we can say that our system should be in equilibrium. So here sigma inertia force plus external force is equal to 0. So inertia force we know that mx double dot, external force is cx double dot, and another external force is spring force kx is equal to 0. So we have one equation of damp free vibration, mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equal to 0. Now this equation is a fundamental differential equation of motion for a single degree of freedom system having damp free vibration. So this is the equation, fundamental equation of a single degree of freedom system having damp free vibration. Now the linear differential equation of the second order and its solution can be written as, now this is the differential equation, and the solution of this differential equation we can rewrite as a x is equal to e raised to st. So e is a base, s is a constant to be determined, and time t is a time. So here s is a constant. So in this equation there is a mx double dot plus cx plus kx. We want a solution of this equation. So here three parameters x, x dot and x double dot. So we put the value of x, x dot and x double dot, and then we solve. So solution of differential equation is x is equal to e raised to st. So if we differentiate this equation with respect to time, then x dot we can say that is equal to capital S into e raised to st. We know that the differentiation of e raised to st is e raised to st into s. So we write x dot is equal to s into e raised to st. If we again differentiate this equation, then we get x double dot is equal to s square into e raised to st. If we put the value of x, x dot and x double dot in a differential equation, then we get m s square e raised to st plus cs e raised to st plus k e raised to st. So here e raised to st is, take e raised to st as a common. So we get m s square plus cs plus k is equal to 0. So this is another equation of damp free vibration. Now the equation is called quadratic equation, characteristic equation of damp free vibration, and it is also known as a quadratic equation. So quadratic equation having always two solutions, s1 and s2. So we know that in a quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c, this is a similar to this equation ax square plus bx plus c. So here a is equal to m, b is equal to c, and c is equal to k. So we have two solutions, s1 and s2. So in general we can say that we have already know this equation. Solution is equal to minus c plus or minus root b square minus 4ac upon 2a. So if we put the value of a, b, c, then we get s12 is equal to minus c plus or minus in a root c square minus 4mk upon 2m. Okay, so again if we simplify, then s12 is equal to minus c upon 2m plus or minus in a root c by 2m whole square minus k by m. So again we rewrite this equation, s1 is equal to, we can say that minus c by 2m plus in a root in a bracket c by 2m bracket square minus k by m, and s2 is equal to minus c by 2m minus in a root in a bracket c minus 2m bracket square minus k by m. So therefore two solution of differential equation is, so there is s1 and s2 are the solution. So we can rewrite x is equal to e raised to s1t and x is equal to e raised to s2t. So in a general solution of differential equation, we can say that x is equal to a into as1 plus ax plus bx. So a into e raised to s1t plus b into e raised to s2t. Now let us understand critical damping. So first of all, critical damping. The critical damping is known as is denoted as a CC. Is that value of damping coefficient C at which the frequency of damp free vibration is 0 and the motion is aperiodic. So we can say that critical damping means it is a value of damping coefficient C at which a frequency of damp free vibration becomes 0. So at CC we know that under root c by 2m square minus k by m is equal to 0. This is the root of solution. So let us consider we put c is equal to cc because there is a frequency become 0. So c by 2m square is equal to km. So cc upon 2m is equal to root k by m. But we know that root k by m is natural frequency omega n. So we get cc is equal to 2m omega n. And omega n is a natural frequency of damped free, undamped free vibration. So cc is equal to we get 2 under root k by m. 2 under root k by m. So this is the damping coefficient. cc is equal to 2 under root k by m. From this equation, the critical damping coefficient cc is only depends on mass. From this equation, we can say that cc depends only on the mass because spring having constant stiffness and stiffness of spring. So there are two parameters k and m. So cc is depends on stiffness and mass of the spring. Critical damping coefficient is independent of the damping coefficient c and hence actual damping condition. The damping factor or damping ratio. So damping ratio, it is denoted as zeta and it is defined as the ratio of damping coefficient to the critical damping coefficient. Mathematically we can say that zeta is equal to c by cc. So here c is a damping coefficient and cc is a critical damping coefficient. The general solution of differential equation and types of system. So we know that critical damping coefficient is cc and damping factor zeta and root s1 and s2 is rewrite as follow. So we know that the equation damping coefficient or a damping factor zeta is equal to c by cc. So cc we know that 2m omega n. So we get zeta is equal to c by 2m omega n. So if we rewrite this equation, so c by 2m is equal to, we can say zeta into omega n, and omega n is square is equal to k by m. If we put this value in the solution, then we get s12 is equal to minus zeta omega n plus or minus root zeta square omega n square minus omega n square. So we rewrite this equation. S1 is equal to, we get in a bracket minus zeta plus under root zeta square minus 1 into omega n, and S2 is equal to minus in a bracket minus zeta minus in a root zeta square minus 1 in a bracket complete into omega n. So we get two solution S1 and S2 in form of zeta and omega n. So now the solutions are depends on natural frequency and damping factor. Now let us consider there are three types of damping system depend on zeta. So first one is a over damped system. So in a simple way, when zeta is greater than 1, then our system is called over damped system. If the damping factor zeta is greater than 1 or a damping coefficient c is greater than cc, that means critical damping coefficient, then system is said to be over damped. So there is a condition zeta is greater than 1 or c is greater than cc. In over damped system, the damping is comparatively large. The two roots S1 and S2 is given by, so S1 is equal to in a bracket minus zeta plus under root zeta square minus 1 in a bracket complete into omega n, and this is equation of S2. Now this, in this case, the root S1 and S2 are real and negative. So these roots are real and negative. So we can say that in over damped system, the solution of differential equation we can rewrite in this way: x is equal to a into e raised to bracket minus zeta plus under root zeta square minus 1 bracket complete into omega n into t plus b into e raised to in a bracket minus zeta minus under root zeta square minus 1 bracket complete into omega n into t. So by finding the solution of a and b, determining the value of a and b, we can rewrite this equation in this way. So here we have calculated the value of a and value of b. So put the value of a and b, then we can derive this. Putting the value of a and b, we derive this equation. Next, so the over damped system, in an over damped system, It is aperiodic motion. It is a aperiodic motion. So in aperiodic motion there is no cyclic motion, and amplitude of vibration in a initial condition is large and then continuously reduce, but there is no cyclic motion. Aperiodic motion, we can say that is overdamped system. Now critical damped system. Now let us discuss about critically damped system. So when zeta is equal to 1, then we can say that our system is said to be a critically damped. If the damping factor zeta is equal to the 1 or damping coefficient C is equal to the critical damping coefficient Cc, then system is said to be a critically damped. In such case, two roots S1 and S2 are given by, so if we put C is equal to Cc or zeta is equal to 1, then we get S1 is equal to minus omega n and S2 is equal to also minus omega n. The roots are real and equal. As the roots are equal, critically damped system solution of differential equation is given by this equation. So x is equal to a into e raised to s1t plus b into e raised to s2t. So in general, x is equal to a in a bracket a plus bt into e raised to minus omega n t. So if we put the value of a and b, then we get x is equal to x0 in a bracket 1 plus omega n t into e raised to minus omega n into t. The application of critically damped system used in hydraulic door closure, and it is in which it is necessary that door to return its original position after it has been opened within a shortest period of time. So as shown in figure, so there is a graph between displacement and time. So in initial condition, the displacement become large and the amplitude is continuously rapidly decrease with time. So in a short period of time, it will come in an equilibrium condition. So the system will come in equilibrium condition in a very short period of time. So let us see one animation of critical damped system. Now overdamped system. So when zeta is less than 1, then we can say that, now let us discuss about underdamped system. Underdamped system. If the damping factor zeta is less than 1 or damping coefficient C is less than critical damping coefficient Cc, then system is said to be a underdamped system. In such case, the root S1 and S2 are complex and conjugate. We can say that imaginary, and we can rewrite as a S1 is equal to in bracket minus zeta plus I in root 1 minus zeta square bracket complete into omega n. Similarly, S2 is equal to in a bracket minus zeta minus I in a root 1 minus zeta square bracket complete into omega n. So we can rewrite the equation of motion according to Euler's theory is equal to x is equal to x capital X into e raised to minus zeta into omega n t into sine in bracket omega d t plus phi. Thus the resultant motion is oscillatory and having frequencies omega d. So omega d is a damped frequency. It is a natural frequency of damped vibration. So decreasing amplitude x into e raised to minus zeta into omega n into t, which ultimately dies out after some consideration period of time. So natural frequency is omega n and damped frequency is omega d is equal to in bracket 1 minus zeta under root 1 minus zeta square into omega n, and periodic time for a damped free vibration is Tp is equal to 2 pi upon omega d. So we get 2 pi upon omega n into root 1 minus zeta square. Let us see one animation about underdamped system. Now let us see the critical damped system, overdamped system, underdamped system and undamped. Let us see overdamped, underdamped, critically damped and undamped system by using the. So this graph, this is a periodic portion. We can say that the amplitude of vibration is constant in every cycle. So there is no decrement in the amplitude of vibration. So such a vibration is called undamped vibration because there is no damper. So zeta is equal to 0. Now second one is underdamped system. So in underdamped, zeta is less than 1. So there is some damping is provided. So the amplitude of vibration, so another one, this one, amplitude of vibration is continuously decreased with respect to time, but the motion is also periodic. So this is a underdamped system. Again, this is one is a underdamped system. Now overdamped. So in overdamped, so this is a overdamped system here. So overdamped system is a having aperiodic motion. That means there is no cyclic motion. So amplitude is continuously decreased and it will take infinite time to comes in a equilibrium condition. And last one is a critical damped system. So here it is critical damped system. So in a critical damped system, the amplitude of vibration is reduced in a very short period of time up to 0 in a short period, but it requires infinite time to come in a equilibrium condition. Hope, my dear friends, you understand about underdamped, overdamped and critical damped system. Thank you.
In earlier topic, we discussed about the damp-free vibration. So we all know that what is the damp-free vibration. In natural free vibration, one element is added. It's called the damper element. So when damper element is added, what is to do it? It's absorb the energy of vibrating body when it's vibrate, and then due to the absorption of energy, the energy of vibrating body is decreased with respect to time. So due to the decrease in energy of vibrating body, what is happen? The amplitude of vibration is decreased with respect to time, and after some interval of time, the amplitude of vibrating body is decreased, and after some interval of time the vibrating body is stopped to vibrate. Okay, it's called the damp free vibration. Now here we discuss about the torsional damp vibration. So in earlier topic we discussed about the damp free vibration of linear vibrating body. Here we discuss about the torsional damp vibration. Okay, first of all, what is the torsional? We know that what is the torsional? Twisting, untwisting type the motion is called the torsional motion. So what is the torsional vibration? The vibration is generated due to the twisting and untwisting moment. It's called the torsional vibration. How? Now how the torsional vibration is generated? The torsional vibration is generated due to the two torque. Here we causes of vibration is a torque instead of force. In a torsional vibration we consider the torque, okay, and in linear vibration we consider the force. Okay, so here two types of torque for causes of to generate a vibration. First is the restoring torque and second is the inertia torque. As shown in figure, see the shaft is attached with the disc. First we applying the force or torque to twisting the disc from the original position, and this torque is absorbed, is called the restore torque, and when we release the disc, this restore torque are move to disc in a original position, and due to the inertia torque, after reaching the disc to the original position, then it's overshoot the original position of the disc and move opposite direction or twist to the opposite direction. So this happens, repeats and repeats, and the vibration is occurs. Which vibration? Torsional vibration is occurs. Okay, now as shown in figure, one element is in which element? Damper element. In our study syllabus, only viscous damping are study. So here damper is a viscous. Oil is filled in this beaker or vessel in which the disc is twist or untwist or torsional vibrate. Okay, so oil is absorb the energy of twisting, untwisting or torsional vibrating disc, and the vibration is a torsional damp vibration. Now see that the KT, what is the KT? Torsional stiffness of shaft. Due to the stiffness of shaft, the torque is stored into the shaft when twist or untwist the disc. Okay, now I is the mass moment inertia of disc about an axis of rotation. Okay, now CT is a torsional damping coefficient. Damping coefficient for a torsional vibration means CT. Okay, theta is the angular displacement of disc from the mean position. Theta dash or theta dot is the angular velocity of disc radian per second, and theta double dot angular acceleration of disc radian per second square. Now mathematically we define the equation of torsional damp vibration according to D'Alembert principle. So in earlier topic, what we have to do in a D'Alembert principle, summation of all forces are equal to 0. According to consideration of D'Alembert principle, means the body is in equilibrium, consider the in equilibrium condition the body. Okay, now here we consider the torque. So summation of torque is equal to 0 when the body is in equilibrium. Okay. Now here the two types of torque is there. First one is the inertia torque plus external torque, and here the one torque is added. Which one torque is there? The damping torque. Okay. Now first one, the inertia torque, it is the I theta double dot plus k theta dot plus kt theta. Kt theta dot is a damping torque, I theta double dot is the inertia torque, and kt theta is a stiffness torque or restoring torque. Okay. So we discuss in this topic how the torsional vibration is generated due to the two types of torque, inertia torque and restoring torque. But one torque is added because of this damper element, viscous damper, due to the viscous damper, which oppose the or resist the vibration motion of disc or torsional vibration. Okay. Now this equation is for the torsional damp vibrating body. Okay. I hope you very well understand the damp free vibration for a linear and torsionally vibrating body. Okay. Thank you.